Hello dear students, welcome back to our online class. You are watching Chamam and today we'll be continuing with the English literature short story All Summers in a Day written by Ray Douglas Bradbury. In the previous video, we have discussed that this is a science fiction and we have seen that how the characters, that is the children and the venue, that is a school in the planet Venus, okay, they are eagerly waiting for that summer day which is going to appear only once in 7 years. Okay, so we have seen that the children were eagerly going, very curious and standing beside the window and watching this, and they understood that it's stopping. So they saw that it's raining and slowly the rain is, it's the drizzling stopped. Okay, and one of the character in the whole story, Margaret, who seemed to be a part and different character, mostly isolated character, and stood apart from all the other children. Means she did not go near the window to peep outside the window and see what's actually happening. And that shows that she is not curious about to see what is happening, whether a rain is stopping or not, it's drizzling or it's precipitating. She's not interested in all that. From these children, who could ever remember a time when there wasn't rain and rain? Okay, so when all the other children have, eagerly waiting to see that the rain has stopped or not, only one child seems to be aloof from all of this. Okay, aloof means remaining separate. Okay, so now that is the name of the child is Margaret. Okay, Margaret actually will come in the coming part of the story. We'll know more about the Margaret. So here it says that we'll continue from page 109, the first paragraph. So they were all 9 years old, and if there had been a day 7 years ago when the sun came out for an hour and showed its face to the stunned world, they could not recall. Now, why those children are so curious? As I told you, something happens outside the classroom and you hear the sound, all will be very curious to know what's going on, right? And some of them will not be interested because it doesn't make any difference to them what is going on or what is happening outside, right? So here, and the other thing, the children are so curious. Why they are so curious? Have they never seen the sunlight? Or every time, and we know that we have already read in the second paragraph that the whole year means 7 years continuously it was raining, and the raining means it was so heavy rain that it comes in the form of flood, or it comes in the, it can even destroy the forest, or it can blow like heavy storms, severe what do you say, heavy storms, and again tidal waves, etc. Okay, that means you can imagine 7 years continuous rain means, my god, you just can't imagine how you will be living, right? So here they were all 9 years, now 7 years before, now the children are 9 years old, right? So your maths is good, then imagine how old they were 7 years back. Okay, so 2 years old, right? So that means a 2-year-old child will ever be able to remember that how the sunlight was, or whether he has felt the warmth of the sunlight, or what is the shape of the sun, or how it looks. So they might not have any kind of memory in their mind regarding the sunlight that came 7 years before. Now they are only 9 years old. Okay, so they were all 9 years old, and if there had been a day like that 7 years back, when the sun came out for an hour, showed its face to the stunned world, and they could not recall it. So that is the reason that they are so curious. So they're so curious to see the sun. They don't know what is the shade, they don't know what is the color, they don't know that how, when and how long it remains. They don't know that from which direction it comes, except what they have learned from the books. They don't have any knowledge about the sun. Okay, practical knowledge, or practically they haven't seen it. Sometimes at night she heard them stir in remembrance, and she knew they were dreaming and remembering gold, or a yellow crayon, or a coin large enough to buy the world with. So they know that it's the sun who actually brings light. Now you imagine that there is no sun from last 7 years and it's continuously raining, will there be a light or sunlight there in the planet? There will be darkness, right? So now if there is darkness, then how these children understood that it's raining? Could they see from the window that it's raining? Think for yourself. Okay, so now here we see that they have only the knowledge, information. Okay, so sometimes at night she heard them stir in remembrance and she knew they were dreaming. Now she knew who is a she here. She refers to Margot. Okay, so Margot, she heard them stir. Okay, she heard the people talking, or her parents talking in remembrance, and she knew they were dreaming and remembering, and for her all the other children are actually remembering the sun, like it could be like a gold coin. Okay, very dark yellowish in color. Okay, or it looks like a yellow crayon. The color would be literally like a crayon which they use there, or it can be in the shape of a coin large enough to even buy the whole world. Buy the whole world in the sense, we know that the sun covers the whole world, isn't it? She knew they thought they remembered a warmness like a blushing in the face. Now what is that warmness? Now these days it's very cold here, and we are also like eagerly expecting for a sunlight, isn't it? Sunlight in the sense like the warmth of the sunlight, right? So we are not getting that, but all of a sudden, suppose imagine tomorrow there will be the warmth of the sunlight. What do? We all feel like going on the terrace and sitting and having sun basking. Okay, and sitting there long time. We will be like making ourselves look at the sun and falling those sun rays on our face, right? So that's what here she says. She knew. So when that sun rays falls on the face, you feel so happy, you feel your faces are blushing. Okay, so as if someone of your dear ones have touched you, and your face will be blushed. So here also, the children will be feeling like that. So she knew that they remembered that warmness like a blushing on the face and in the body, in the arms and legs and trembling hands. So when you sit for sun basking, this you call it as sun basking, when you sit in the sun with all exposing your hands, legs, arms and the body, and so that you get that warmth of the sun on your body. Okay, so but they always awoke to the tatting drum, the endless shaking down of clear bead necklaces upon the roof. The walk, the gardens, the forest and their dreams were gone. But this also rarely happens, because rarely they dream about this sun basking and enjoying that warmth of the sun. But most of the time their dreams also get shattered when they listen to the trembling sounds. Okay, like they get awake, tatting the drum beats and shaking down of the clear bead necklaces upon the roof. Like, what is the clear bead necklaces referring in? During the time there rain, the time of the rain, there will be heavy, rainfalls, water droplets, hazels. So you can say that is the reason that they feel like clear bead necklaces upon falling upon the roof. The walk, the gardens, the forest, and the dreams totally get shattered. All day yesterday, they had read in class about the sun. Now, what is that information the children are having? They have only that bookish information, right? Suppose today we are living on the earth, and you don't know what is moon. You know what is moon, of course, you see from the earth, but you don't know exactly what is the size of the moon, how is the moon as it's a star or it's a planet, or how does it look, or and we have so many stories like people who have stepped in the moon, and even find water. We come to listen to so many things related, and we know that the earth, or the crust of the moon is very hard and rough, and there is no oxygen there. So we come to know all these things. Have we really gone? No, we come to know through those people who have experienced it and who have shared their knowledge to the world. We come to know through the books. We come to know through those pictures that were sent to that satellite, through the satellite sent to those places, isn't it? So this is how the children also have the knowledge about the sun from the books because they have learned the previous day. So, and about like a lemon it was. So, sun is like a lemon, and how, and it is very hot, okay? And they had written small stories, and children were asked to write the stories on the sun, essays on the sun, draw the pictures, or so that to kindle their imagination actually. So they used to write small small stories on the sun, poetries, essays about it. I think the sun is a flower. So it says that I think the sun is like a flower, isn't it? We know we call the sunflower because it takes the shape of the sun, okay? It takes the color of the sun. It has a round shape. It takes the color, and even we make eyes, nose, and other features of the sun also, right? So here the children guess that I think the sun is like a flower that blooms for just 1 hour. So some children write in the very rhythmic poetical lines with the rhymings, and like I think the sun is like a flower that blooms just for an hour, because they have heard that last time when the sun showed up, it remained only for an hour. That was Margaret's poem, and Margaret was very good in writing poem, and that was one of the lines written in the Margaret's poem, read in a quiet voice in the still classroom while the rain was falling outside. Outside it was raining again, and Margaret used to read this poem in her class. Oh, you don't write that, protested one of the boys. Now, boys don't literally like poems, and now one of the boys says that, oh, Margot, please don't write that poem. I did, said Margaret. I did. I love writing poem, and I do write. William, said the teacher. Then the teacher calls the boy William there, but that was yesterday. And actually, this situation which the discussion is going on, it was of yesterday, not of today. Now the rain was slackening. Now the slackening means becoming very lesser and lesser. And the children were crushed in the great thick windows. Crushed means what? They get completely, for completely forced and packed at the side of the windows. Where's the teacher? She'll be back. Now, without the teacher, they can't go out. They are just eagerly waiting for the rain to stop and to see the sun rays come from which direction, how it looks, and what will be the warmth of that. So they are so curious. So they are just asking, where is the teacher? She will be back. She will better hurry. We will miss it. So if the teacher wouldn't come, when you have the games period, what do? You will be eagerly waiting for your sir to come, isn't it? And if your sir gets delayed for 5 minutes or 10 minutes, you will be in so hurry that you don't even want to miss that 5-10 minutes, because you will be missing that much time to play. Am I right? Yes. Okay, so here the children are also so curious. They don't want to miss even a single moment, and they are in search of the teacher. Where's the teacher? If she better come soon, then otherwise we will miss this. Because again, if they have to see the sun, what they have to do? They have to wait for the next 7 years, which is again a long period of time, right? So they turned on themselves like a feverish wheel, all tumbling spokes. A feverish wheel means when you leave the wheel, what happens? It keeps on rotating in its own speed, in its own pace, and the spokes continuously. You feel like if there were 100 spokes, you feel like it's all one spoke. Okay, so Margaret stood alone. All the children rushed, and the only one person did not rush and remained there. Who is that? That is Margaret. She was a very frail girl who looked as if she had been lost in the rain for years, and the rain had washed out the blue from her eyes, and the red from her mouth, and the yellow from her hair. So, what is that? Blue, red, and yellow. Okay, she was very frail girl. Frail means very weak girl. Weak in the sense physically very weak. Okay, and who looked as if she had been lost in the rain. And if you look at Margaret, she seemed to be so dull, because and there was no glow on her face, and she, as if the glow of her face has all vanished, washed away by the rain. And the blue from her eyes, what do you mean by blue eyes? Hypnotized, not that. Here blue eyes means, when someone is very very happy, you can see a complete glow in their eyes, isn't it? Eyes is a big means of communication. Whether you are sad, whether you are angry, whether you are staring at someone, whether you are very, very happy, it is very clearly, seen in the eyes of a person. That's why we see, those person who are very confident, they look into the eyes of others and they speak. And those who are culprit and have a thief in their heart, they don't look into the eyes and speak. Okay, they either look down, or they either look up, or they look here and there. Okay, so they are, so you must know that something is wrong with that person. Okay, that's a trick to find out the right people in your life. So I hope that we'll stop today here and we'll continue in the next video. Keep reading. Have a wonderful day.